Hi, this is Eric Martin with BoardGameGeek. I'm here with Luke Warren from North Star Games. And Evolution is not new. It's been out for a little bit, but you have an expansion right now, Evolution Climates.
Yes.
That is on Kickstarter.
Right. It's on Kickstarter. I got the page up right here. I don't know if you all can see that.
Well, we can actually put it on the
we do it this way?
overhead camera.
Oh, there we go. So you can see we only have 6 days to go, so you got to get on it.
It's interesting just to find out about this. So I filmed a little overview with Nick at Gen Con, and now this has changed. It's a standalone game, or at least the way you're selling it.
It's both. Okay, so what you have here, as you can see, we've got 2 versions. So if you have regular Evolution, you can get the smaller, it's the same size as our Flight expansion, and that's just the climate expansion to Evolution, right? So if you have the base game, and a lot of people do, that's the version you want.
Right.
If you're new to the Evolution system, and you prefer like really heavier sort of games, and you thought Evolution is maybe a little too light, Climate adds a lot to the game. It's a lot more depth. There's a lot, more to think about. It's much heavier. It's
it seems like it overlays something new on everything.
Yeah.
In terms of worrying about
so even when you're discarding
conditions.
cards for food, now you have to figure out, that also moves the climate track. So you have to think about where you want the climate track to go, depending on what kind of creatures you have, what kind of creatures your opponents have. So then you have to worry about upcoming events. If you get into certain zones, certain things trigger, and you have to try to figure that out. So there's just a lot more variables in the game.
Right, but also selling it as a standalone.
Right. So for
how does that work?
It includes the base game.
Okay.
And the climate expansion. So think of it as
just all in one box.
Deluxe. Right.
Okay.
And again, if you like your heavier Agricola or Twilight Struggle, Terra Mystica, that kind of game, like really heavy games, you'd want to get the standalone version if you don't have Evolution yet.
Okay.
And if you like those and you have Evolution, you definitely want to get Climate.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's got a whole bunch of variety of stuff in it. We've got volcanoes. So volcanoes can go off, and that's going to affect the climate in various negative ways. This is one of the new traits, Nocturnal. So you come out at night, it's to help you reduce some damage from heat.
Right.
So if it's really hot, you're going to want a Nocturnal trait. There's some these wildfires, so things can happen, and it can wreck the food situation. And we have a whole bunch of stretch goals in here. We have now scenario cards, which kind of change the macro level of what's going on in the game. So and then there's various periods. So and this one's Crustaceous. All sorts of new trait cards that we've hit a lot of our stretch goals. So yeah, you got scenario cards, you got event cards, you've got the climate track, which is going back and forth, and it's like playing with 3 new players. It's like the number of people playing with plus the climate adds like 3 or 4. There's just so much going on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's intense.
Okay.
But it's awesome because it actually feels like because a lot of evolutionary traits are based on climate, and so we felt like we were missing a key component of the game without not having climate there. So.
Right. All right. Well, that's good. Now you get to include that in there.
Yeah. So that's climate, and I say you got 6 days left on the Kickstarter, and that'll show up probably early August, late July, and then the street date's October 1st.
October 1st, 2016.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for the overview.
So that's that.